Before we get into this video, I would like to start off with a serious message, and I would like to take this moment to pay my respect to a great person, a great leader, and definitely a figure that won't be forgotten anytime soon. Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth, you will be missed. Yo guys, what is up? Welcome to HITC Football. Finally, we've seen some Champions League action. So for the first time in a long time, we finally got to see some European football. But soon enough, we will be seeing World Cup football as well. And as you guys know, it's not that far away. So it's time to focus on that. And today in this video, we're going to be looking at 10 Premier League stars who will be heading to their first World Cup. And believe me, there are some interesting shouts in this video. So definitely watch all the way to the end. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button as well. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. And I think that it's only right that we start off with an English player, because Kelvin Phillips is going to his first World Cup. And the last World Cup, things were so different for Kelvin Phillips, because in 2018 Leeds was still in the championship, and that particular season they finished bottom half under Paul Heckingbottom, and right now they're in the Premier League for a few seasons now. Obviously last season they got the relegation scare, but they managed to stay up, and still right now they're in the Premier League and they're actually not doing that bad. But as we all know, Kelvin Phillips doesn't play for Leeds anymore, because last summer he made the switch to Manchester City. Has that move been successful so far? No, not really, no. Probably the opposite of it actually. Because over in the Premier League he only played 1 minute, which is definitely not a lot because we already had 6 games in the competition. So yeah, just playing 1 minute. I think that Phillips expected to play a little bit more than that. But he also got to play 12 minutes against Sevilla, so I guess that made up for it. No, okay, let's be honest. Kelvin Phillips didn't really play a lot for Manchester City so far, but going into the World Cup, does it really matter? Obviously, it's nice to play a few games ahead of the World Cup, but I'm pretty sure that the next couple of weeks, Kelvin Phillips play at least more than 1 minute. But like I said, it doesn't really matter because Gareth Southgate will take him anyway. This guy consistently is one of the first people on the score sheet for him. He was England's Player of the Year in 2021, and I mean the fact that he consistently keeps Jude Bellingham on the bench shows that he has a lot of credit in the bank with Gareth Southgate. So even if he's not a regular player for Manchester City, I'm pretty sure that he will go to the World Cup and even be in the starting lineup for most games, because we all know this guy's way too important for Southgate. And the next player that we're going to talk about is Bruno Gimraj. And to be honest, when the last World Cup was going on, did anybody know who Bruno Gimraj was? I didn't, and don't lie to me because you didn't either. Because at the time, this guy was playing for Atlético Paranaense, a club in Brazil, and let's be honest, at the time, nobody saw this guy play. He made the switch to Lyon in 2020, and obviously that's where he started to impress. And I'm not gonna lie, after signing for Newcastle last January, this guy has absolutely been on fire. Last season, Gimraj was absolutely unbelievable, scoring 5 times in 17 games in the Premier League, which is a pretty great record for somebody who's actually known for creating chances rather than actually scoring them. Gimraj has already played 8 times for the Brazilian national team, where he scored 1 goal, and 5 of those appearances came in the last calendar year. So I'm pretty sure that this guy will go to the World Cup and even play a few games if you ask me. Just like Phillips, the next player was still playing in a championship when the last World Cup was going on, and obviously I'm talking about Diogo Jota from Liverpool. And because of his injury, he didn't really play a lot so far this season, as he only played 10 minutes against Everton, 27 against Napoli in the Champions League, and 66 against Ajax last night. And I'm not gonna lie, we had a lot of trouble with this guy because he kept going into the midfield to receive the ball, and I don't know, our defense just had major difficulties with that. And that's what makes this guy special, because he's a striker, but he kind of roams all over the place, which makes him very, very, very dangerous. And he showed that last season, where he scored 21 goals in 55 games in all competitions. So far in his Portugal career, he scored 1 goal every 3 games, but the fact that Jota is going to the World Cup is set in stone. Because as we all know, Portugal has some amazing strikers, but arguably the best of the bunch is sitting on the bench at Manchester United right now. So if Jota can stay fit until the World Cup, he's definitely going, there's no doubt about it. Well, the same goes for Cristiano Ronaldo, but will he have the form if this sitting on the bench thing continues? I don't know. It will not be great for somebody who needs rhythm in order to find the back of the net. But yeah, I can lie here, but Ronaldo will definitely play at the World Cup, but Jota will definitely play alongside him. And this must be a dream come true for the striker who will turn 26 during the World Cup. Well, only if Portugal will make it to the knockout stage, which might still be a difficult thing, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they will make it out of their group, right? Well, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie, Ghana, Uruguay and South Korea, not an easy group. Well, South Korea should be easy for them. I don't know, it's a tricky group, but also definitely one I will be looking forward to seeing. team. But like I said, Fernando Santos will clearly take Diogo Jota to the World Cup. And who knows, if Ronaldo doesn't deliver, then he might be Portugal's main attacking threat. And next up is another English player, because is it still even a question if Bukayo Saka will go to the World Cup? This guy can basically play everywhere, on the left, on the right, through the middle, and it's crazy to think that this guy is only 20, while his playing style is so mature, and he just had an absolutely amazing campaign. Because last season he took Arsenal by the hand, scoring 12 goals in 43 games across all competitions. This year he already hit 1 in 6, and it's very impressive, because obviously throughout the Euros he was pretty good, but for him and England it ended in heartbreak because of the penalty he missed. But last season he showed that he bounced back, and so far this season he's part of an absolutely unbelievable Arsenal team that's very fun to watch. And let's be honest guys, this guy's going to the World Cup, and I'm pretty sure that he will fulfill a very important role in Gareth Southgate's squad. Next up is our first Argentinian player, because Christian Romero from Tottenham is definitely going to his first World Cup. On loan in London last season he played 30 times, scoring 1, as he was definitely one of the best young defenders in the entire Premier League. And 1 season was enough for Spurs to make the deal permanent this summer. And in the last couple of years, when you think about the Argentinian national team, you only think about their attack, because obviously right now they have players like Lionel Messi, Lautaro Martinez, Angel Di Maria. Julian Alvarez definitely deserves a shout, and I'm pretty sure that I'm still forgetting a few players. While in recent history you also had Carlos Tevez and Kun Agüero, so in the attack they're pretty sorted. But normally the defense was a little bit of a problem, but right now with players like Nico Tagliafico, Lisandro Martinez and Christian Romero, I think that the Argentinian defense is in pretty good hands actually. And that's why for me I think that Argentina is definitely one of the favorites to win the entire thing. And I'm not gonna lie, it would be amazing to see Messi with the World Cup trophy in probably his last World Cup, I don't know. It would be amazing, but Argentina definitely have a good squad, so it might as well happen. But if they want to have a chance of actually winning the thing, Christian Romero has to be in the side, and like I said, I'm pretty sure that he will be. And alongside Lisandro Martinez, that will be a defense that's pretty difficult to break down. Next up is another English player whose career has massively changed since the 2018 World Cup. At the time, Phil Foden only played 45 minutes of Premier League football, but 4 years on, the Stockport Iniesta is one of the most influential attackers for both England and Manchester City. And it's absolutely ridiculous to realize that a 22-year-old already played 177 times for Manchester City, with 103 games being in the Premier League itself. This guy always was a big talent, but it's amazing to see that it wasn't only hype, because it's clear that this guy is one of football's best young players. So far this guy played in every single game in the Premier League, where he scored once and gave 2 assists. And in the Champions League he already scored once in 1 game. And right now Foden has a market value of £81 million, which is a meteoric rise if you compare it to the 6 million that he was valued at during the World Cup in 2018. So this shows that this guy came a long way, and he will definitely lead the attack for England in the World Cup. Next up is another Manchester City player, but this time it's an Argentinian, because Julian Alvarez is undoubtedly going to the World Cup. Just like Foden, he's still 22 years old, but he already accomplished quite a lot for his age, because his 24 goals for River Plate led his team to the title in 2021. And his amazing performances over in Argentina got him selected for the national team, where so far he scored 1 goal in 9 games. And his amazing form in Argentina made Manchester United sign him, and since his arrival this summer he already scored twice in 4 Premier League games. And 2 goals in only 27% of the available minutes definitely isn't bad, especially considering that a certain striker called Erling Haaland is also at the club. And like I said before, Argentina has some amazing attacking players, but I personally think that Julian Alvarez will definitely be one of those players. Next up is Antony Mateos dos Santos. And yes, Manchester United fans, that is his full name. I bet you didn't hear that anywhere before. And I don't blame you. It took me a year to find it out as an Ajax supporter as well, but yeah, that's actually his name. Not that anyone cares, because he goes by the name of Antony. And normally that's enough, because everybody knows who this guy is, especially after his £85 million move from Ajax to Manchester United this summer. And Antony's rise to stardom has been pretty meteoric. He joined Ajax in 2020, and in just over 2 seasons at the club, he managed to earn himself a big money move to Manchester United. And while at Ajax, he also managed to get selected for the Brazilian national team a few times, because in a team that has a lot of squad depth, he already played 9 times, scoring twice. And so far, he started the season off absolutely on fire, because while still at Ajax, he scored twice and gave 2 assists in only 3 games. And as we all know, on his debut against Liverpool, he also scored his first goal for Manchester United. And this is another player who's only 22 years old that has bags of potential. And I'm pretty sure that at the World Cup, this guy will cause a lot of problems for defenders. Next up is Rodri, who plays for Spain and Manchester City. Rodri is a little bit older than the other players we just talked about at the age of 26. But in recent years, this guy established himself as one of the best defensive midfielders in the entire world. When the 2018 World Cup was going on, this guy just finished his last season with Villarreal before he signed with Atletico Madrid. He only stayed there for 1 year because in 2019 Manchester City snatched him up. And so far it has been a big success because he played almost 160 games for the club and he's now truly one of the most elite defensive midfielders in the entire world. And he's also regular for the Spanish national team because he already played 33 times. And where in 2018 he narrowly missed out on a World Cup squad, this time around I'm pretty sure that he will be one of the first names on the team sheet. And the last player of this list is Chelsea's Kai Havertz. Chelsea signed the German midfielder from Bayer Leverkusen for a big fee, but I'm pretty sure that everybody at Stamford Bridge is a little bit disappointed with his development at the club. He still is an amazing player that scored some very important goals, but you can say about him what you want, but this guy scored the winning goal in the Champions League final. So he definitely won't be forgotten out of Chelsea's history. But for somebody who regularly plays as a striker or as an attacking midfielder, only 1 goal this season definitely isn't enough. But he already scored 8 times in 28 games for the national team. He's only 23 years old, so definitely a young talent, and his reputation of scoring goals in important moments alone should already be a reason to take him to the World Cup. So guys, that's it. Out of this list, what is the most exciting player that will most likely play his first World Cup this winter? As always, be sure to like, share and subscribe. Click my videos on the end screen right now and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.